Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with different completely. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great Granite State of New Hampshire. Yes, indeed, we are live this fantastic evening here in the Granite State, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. No, indeed. And it is Thursday, December the 20th, in the year of our Lord, 2012. And as all of you know, unless you've been living under a rock, it is the eve of destruction. Now, in actuality, in reality, we're already on that day. We're already on the day of destruction because, it's already the 21st out in the Far East. And so far, I haven't heard anything. Now, I don't know if that means that on the 21st, it has to be the 21st here in the Western Hemisphere, or if the whole world for just a second, an instant has to be on the 21st, which would mean basically midnight. That's not possible, is it? Because technically, the stroke of midnight, the instant it hits midnight, it's a new day. There's never I guess technically there is never a time that we can measure that is the entire globe is on the same exact day. I'm not one of those astrological or time scientists, but I'm sure they could probably tell us if there was a way. I don't think it's possible. But in any case, here we are. On the eve of destruction, the eve of the Mayan destruction, supposedly Mayan destruction day. And so far, so good. Everybody's still here. Most people are still here. Got a lot to go over this evening, including the poem this evening. The poem that we have this evening is from a friend of mine. People are commenting on my posting on Facebook of my Michigan school closes 33 schools, or Michigan closes 33 schools early for Christmas over fears Mayan apocalypse could trigger another attack. And this is something that comes out of actually the Daily Mail, UK. We don't have it here I mean, you don't see a lot of it, but in the Daily Mail, Michigan closes 33 schools early for Christmas over fears of Mayan apocalypse could trigger another attack on students. Now, winter break has come early for children at 33 Michigan schools. The threat of a looming doomsday has forced dozens of schools in Michigan, USA, to close, authorities said today. The Mayan calendar predicts that the end of the world will arrive tomorrow. And so students at 33 Michigan schools are being allowed to cut class early. However, the closures are backed by more serious concerns about violence following the massacre at Sandy Hook. So now we're going to find something to be afraid about everywhere. That is going to be the modus operandi. A little bit of Latin lingo there for all you folks out there in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda. We're just going to be afraid of everything. So even the slightest bit of idiocy, like this Mayan thing. Look, I guess you might as well give the kids the day off if it's going to be the last day of their lives, right? But is it really going to matter? In the end, is it really going to matter if we're here December 22nd or if we're not? Because either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, philosophically speaking, either way, it does not matter. And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, Rod? Because if the earth is destroyed or civilization is destroyed and every human being on the planet dies tomorrow, on the 21st, will that affect the universe? I'm going to say no. So in the grand scheme of things, if you believe in heaven and hell, then you're probably thinking you're going to heaven. So it's not going to matter to you that the earth no longer exists. You're going to be in heaven. If you don't believe in heaven and hell and you don't believe in an afterlife, then you're not even going to know you're dead. You're just going to cease to exist. You're just going to cease to exist, and you're not even going to know. Because it takes a living being of some kind to have some sort of consciousness to understand that you're alive or dead. But if there is no afterlife, if there is no soul, if you believe there is no soul, if there is no afterlife, if you believe that when you're dead and gone, and that's it, never coming back, never transforming, nothing, it's like you never existed, then you're not going to know. So what are you going to care? Well, you're not going to care because you're not going to be alive to care, and you're not going to know you're dead. I'm trying to be reasonable here. So in the greater scheme of things, whether the earth is actually here on December 22 or not doesn't really make a big difference. However, if we are here, which I fully believe that we firmly believe that we will be here on the 22nd in all our 7 billion people glory, then it is up to us to make what life we have worth living. And that means not running around in fear. I'm not saying not take precautions. You always take precautions. You wear your seatbelt when you're in the car. Hopefully you don't text and drive or drink and drive or do all that other kind of stuff and drive. Now, you take precautions. There's no way in hell that you need to speed up the process of death. We're all going to pass away soon enough. We don't need to hurry it along. So we take precautions. So there's nothing wrong with taking precautions by protecting our kids, by putting teachers, or by arming teachers, or putting, our soldiers, maybe retired soldiers or soldiers that are just leaving the military but are still young, paying them. You know what? I would love to see. Yeah, but they got to be fully armed. Now, we obviously have a couple of, again, Daily Mail, and this is not, I didn't see this in the lamestream media here in the U.S., but thousands of miles apart, Marines stand at elementary schools in wake of Sandy Hook. 2 Marines at separate sides of the U.S. have decided to answer the call of duty and stand guard outside their local schools during the day. Jordan Pritchard, a former staff sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps, began his watch duty on Monday at a school in Nashville, Tennessee. And his friend, Marine Sergeant Craig Poosley, followed suit on Wednesday, standing outside the Hughson, Hughson, elementary school near Modesto, California. Both said they are committed to bringing a sense of order to their communities that have been rocked after the deadly shoot. I don't know why the communities in Virginia and California were rocked by Sandy. The shootings didn't take place anywhere near those communities. The massacre didn't take place anywhere. I mean, that's like saying, oh yeah, well, we're going to stand guard because, of the massive death of a school invasion, I don't know, in Beijing or something. That because and some school in Oklahoma community was rocked by that. How? I know we all have to try to feel and sense that we're a part of something that we feel is great, be it a bad kind of great or a good kind of great. We've got to try to be there, try to identify with it. I mean, this is why you hear people that say, yeah, there's a New Hampshire connection with the Sandy Hook shooting. Really, what's that connection? Oh, Lanza's mother used to live in New Hampshire, but she doesn't live here anymore. Yeah, but she used to. Yeah, so what? There isn't a connection there just because she lived in this state. But we all got to try to feel like there's some connection. That's like saying, yeah, I drove by Sandy Hook 5 months ago. Like that's supposed to be a big deal. But it's trying to show that we're trying to reach out and feel a connection towards this place. So now we're going to say that, a community out in Modesto, California was rocked by the Newton, Connecticut shootings. This is the problem. Now understand me. Understand this, please. I'm not saying that we should not feel and be heartfelt, because we definitely should. I did. I mean, I cried. It was awful. But we have to understand that we can't get to a point where we're so touchy-feely that all of everything that we do is about our feelings. Public policy comes about through feeling. That's wrong. And we get dangerously close to doing stuff like that when we start having to say, well, this community that has nothing to do with the other community, really, it has a connection because, they once lived there for 2 days or they passed through 7 years ago or they vacationed in a hotel down the road. That's not a connection. And we get dangerously close to being too touchy-feely and turning that touchy-feeliness into public policy when we continue to do stuff like that. I mean, this notion, you got Bloomberg down there holding up a quote-unquote assault rifle. It's a freaking .22 caliber rifle that's just been dressed up. It's the same damn gun. It has no more power than a regular .22 rifle. But because it looks more lethal, we're supposed to now call it an assault rifle. Well, that's a bunch. There is no such thing as an assault rifle. There is no official gun industry classification of assault. It's politically motivated. Because frankly, in my view, folks, if somebody uses a weapon, it's an assault weapon. If they use a